everyone, it's Meredith, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about how I got caught red-handed. So let's just get started. So to start off the background of the story, for you guys to understand, I need to explain to you guys that I am a straight A student. I was always a good student, honor roll, stuff like that, never got in trouble, I was a good kid. So that's like the background of the story, right? So let's just start with the fact that my mom wanted to go to the dollar store. And I'm a little 10-year-old with my little tiny purse and my little wallet that has no money in it. I was like, yeah, Mom, I would love to go to the dollar store with you. So we went to the dollar store, and my mom went off in the plates and stuff little area because she needed some plates for a project, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but we're just gonna act like that happened. So I really wanted to do an arts and crafts project, and I was like, I need some Elmer's glue, the little glue sticks. So I was like, yeah. So I went to the glue stick section, and I was like, yep, those look right. Not the Elmer's glue bottles, but like the Elmer glue sticks. So I took them off the shelf and I put them under my shirt, and I was walking around the store with them. Dumbest idea ever. So I was walking around the store with them in my shirt. And then I went to a corner of the store where nobody was, and I unraveled them, and I was like, where am I going to put these? Because I didn't have pants on with pockets on. So I just shoved them in my purse and covered them with my wallet. So then my mom calls me to the front of the store, and I'm like, yeah, what do you need? And she's like, do you want anything? I'm like, no. She's like, okay. So she pays, and then we leave the store, and we're getting into the car, and she's like, do you want anything? You sure? I'm just like, yeah, I'm positive. So my mom wanted to go to Michael's as well. It's like, yeah, let's go to Michael's. So we go to Michael's, and so we go to Michael's because my mom's a really big scrapbooker. And like nothing important happened in there, but we went to the checkout counter, and I was like 9 or 10, so the girl at the checkout counter was like, here, you want to play with this toy? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it was one of those little wind-up toys, and it like bounced. And so my mom was leaving, and she was like, come on, Meredith, let's go. I was like, okay. So I took the toy with me, thinking that the cashier gave it to me, but she didn't. She just gave it to me to play with. So I took it home. And then when we got home, my mom was like, Meredith, can I see your purse? She wanted to look for something, I think. Like chapstick or something. I was like, yeah, sure, Mom. So she goes through my purse, and she's like, Meredith Roosevelt, my last name. She's like, yeah. She's like, why are these glue sticks in your purse? I'm like, because I bought them. And she's like, no, you didn't. There's no receipt in here. I'm like, oh, And she's like, did you steal them, Meredith? It's like, yeah. So then my mom was like, did you take that toy from Michael's too? It's like, yeah, I thought she gave it to me. My mom was like, no, Meredith, she didn't give it to you. She wanted you to play with it while I was paying. And I was like, oh. And then my mom was like, okay, I'm taking the stuff away from you. All my phones, my phone, my tablet, and my headphones. What? So then a few days go by, and my mom's like, Meredith, I need you to sit at the kitchen table and write a sorry note to the managers of Michael's and the dollar store. I'm like, why? She's like, because you stole from them and you need to apologize. I'm like, okay. So I wrote a letter to Michael's, and I was like, dear dear cashier, I'm sorry that I stole from you. I thought you were giving me the toy. And it was like 2 sentences, and my mom was like, no, that's not long enough. So I wrote like a paragraph of like stuff that I didn't even know what I was saying. And then for the dollar store one, I was like, dear dollar store, I'm sorry that I stole from you. I really wanted the glue sticks but didn't have any money, and I didn't think my mom would buy them for me. Once again, I'm sorry, Meredith. And then I had to go to the dollar store, give it to the manager, and go to Michael's and give it to the manager. And it was the most embarrassing thing in my life, going to the manager and saying, I stole from you. Here's my sorry note. So, good thing I didn't steal from like a Forever 21 or like a big deal company, but here comes the fun part. Mom's like, okay, thank you, Meredith, we can go home now. And I was like grounded for like 2 weeks, but whatever. So I went to school for like 2 weeks, and then randomly, I'm in 5th grade, remember? No, I think it was in like 4th grade. Yeah, I was in 4th grade, and I was called to the guidance office. I was like, yeah. So I go in there, and it's my favorite guidance counselor that I feel like is like my second mom. Her name is Miss Carter, and She was the nicest teacher ever. I could talk to her about anything. I would just leave her classroom so I could get out of class. And she had lifesaver mints in her classroom, in her like office. And she called me into her office and I'm like, yes ma'am. And then I turn around and there's a police officer sitting there. And I'm just like, hi Mr. Police Officer, how are you doing today? Are you doing good? I'm doing great. And then Miss Carter said, your mom called and she wants the police officer to talk to you. I was like, okay. So then Miss Carter left the room and the police officer was like, did you steal from Michael's in the dollar store? And I was like, yes sir, I did, and I wrote a sorry note and I apologize and I'm very, very sorry. And he's like, yes, you wrote a sorry note and yes, you talked to the managers, but that is not going to be enough. You are now going to have to get fingerprinted. And I was like, why? And he said, because you stole and we need to have a police report on you. I was like, oh, okay. So once he got the police report, he wrote down what I did, what I said and everything, and then he was like, now I'm going to fingerprint you. And I'm not exactly sure to this day if that was real or if that was fake. Like, I don't know if I have a record or not, but it was like one of the ink pads and it had my name. It was on an index card, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't real, but it was on an index card. And he was like, okay, let me take your pointer finger. And I was like, okay. Took my pointer finger, pressed it into the ink really, really hard. He's like, and then pressed it onto the index card with my name on it. And then he was like, don't wipe it on your clothes, it won't come off. I was like, okay. So then he gave me a baby wipe to wipe it off with. And then he was like, hopefully you have learned your lesson. If you ever steal from a store again, you will be put in juvie. I was like, and I was like crying at this point because I knew that I had been in so much trouble and that I'd done something really, really bad. And then I went home that day and my mom was like, so how was your day, Meredith? You kidding me? I was like, my day was great. I got fingerprinted. And she's like, oh, really? They did that today? I was like, yeah, they did it today. And she was like, they were supposed to do it yesterday. And then I'm just like, you knew the date? What? Anyway, so then I went back to school and everybody was like, Meredith, why'd you go to the guidance office yesterday? And I was like, I just need to talk about some family issues, you know? And they were like, oh, well, why'd the police officer walk out with you? I was like, oh, because he's part of my family, you know? That's the issues that I have. And they were like, why do you walk out with an index card with your fingerprint on it? I was like, we were playing a game. And yeah. So that's the story time of when I got caught red-handed and everything. I'm not sure to this day if I have a record or not. I'll never know. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a kind of like a short video, but yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Mwah.
You're feeling good.